Right, sorry to actually just cut in the middle of this video, right? But that says Adrian is incestuous. And his only other family member was his mum. Yeah. The year is 876 AD. And unknown to the rest of the world, vampires roamed among them, completely hidden in the shadows, using their powerful abilities to control and manipulate them. Today we will focus on Duke Robin of Barcelona, who uses godlike abilities to control the former ruler and take control of his land. His plan was to become a mighty king, and spread his kind to those around him. Just quickly wanted to say, consider subscribing to stay up to date on the best CK3 mods. There's only 12% are currently subscribed and we're so close to 1,000. Thank you. Choosing a glamour focus to further influence the minds of mortals. His wife, unaware of his dark secrets, became pregnant to his son and future heir, Adrian. His first task was convincing his wife, Duchess Ord, to join him. To become a vampire, but that's an easy task for him. The first step to growing his kind went perfectly. His liege was the powerful King Charles II of West Francia. Although they would be future enemies, getting on his good side would prove helpful on increasing his standing in the realm. So he attempted to sway the king, and his efforts paid off. King Charles offered him the position of spy master. All this scheming expanded his vampire skills. Every person he fed off would begin to like him, with no idea as to why. Although everything seemed to be going great, his much stronger neighbouring ruler, Duke Ramnulf of Aquitaine, started a war. But defeat was not an option, his reputation would be ruined. So he hired a mercenary army of 1,500 men to help defend his land, going straight for the enemy capital, the barony of Saintonge, which resulted in the war turning in his favour. But success never lasts. His vassal, Mayor Bohemond, discovered Robin's vampire secret, which could have devastating consequences if released to the public. With Ramnulf's army defeating one of Robin's, holding his capital was enough to negotiate white peace, allowing the vampires to keep control of Poitiers. Duke Robin's blood grew stronger and stronger by the day, further allowing him to control those around him. On the 30th of May, 875 AD, his bishop managed to make a claim on the county of Berry. This would be Duke Robin's first step to taking the kingdom for himself. Wasting no time in pressing his claim against the Prince of West Francia, Carloman's army decided to defend his capital, but his army stood no chance and was quickly defeated, leaving his land open to be pillaged, and after 14 months his capital had fallen, giving Prince Carloman no other option but to give up the county of Berry. Duke Robin was showing himself to be a competent commander and his power just kept growing. Now he was able to completely control minds, giving him strong hooks. No matter how powerful, he realised he couldn't do this alone. He betrothed Adrian to Isabeau to form his first alliance to help push his claims. His son, only being 8, was granted eternity, fully transforming him into a vampire. But the effects of turning him so young would not yet be obvious. With ever-growing confidence, his next challenge was becoming the Duke of Berry. And to achieve this, he sent his bishop to fabricate a claim on the county of Issoudun. His vassal, Mayor Marie, somehow discovers Robin's dark vampire secret. But Robin could no longer deal with the stress of hiding his true form. He allowed it to be exposed and used this to make people dread and fear him. Sneaking up on his bishop in the night, giving him no choice but to turn into a vampire. This will always allow Robin to be endorsed by his bishop. Adrian was slowly but surely becoming a great vampire, already becoming callous. He had no sympathy for anybody. His now immortal bishop came up with a claim, which instantly turned into a war. His soldiers and mercenaries prepared while the Pope declared a crusade for Jerusalem, which would be the perfect opportunity for Duke Robin to expand while his vassals of West Francia were distracted. While sieging Issoudun, a well-equipped army snuck up, resulted in a close battle with hundreds lost on both sides. Robin's army managed to come out on top, but left incredibly hurt, but still able to finish the siege, resulting in the war ending quickly and capturing Duke Bernard of Toulouse. This was the perfect opportunity to turn another duke, putting vampires in places of power who would be grateful for eternal life. It was time to land his son, Adrian, granting him Issoudun young, to learn and refine his skills early as he comes of age, getting Midas touched. Alamat Israk of the Umayyad Sultanate warned Duke Robin that his steward has been plotting against him, which turned out to be nothing but lies, to try and weaken Barcelona's power, showing that not only vampires were able to scheme well. The crusade ended in defeat. On the 23rd of January, 885 AD, they stood no chance against the Abbasid Empire. Still pursuing his plan to get the Duchy of Berry, he started to fabricate a claim for the throne of Blois. His spy master discovered that Bernard was a vampire. Of course, Robin, being the one who fed on him and turned him, realised he could use this to blackmail Bernard and force him to fight by his side in the future. As he grew older, his powers were not slowing down. He learned how to inflict whatever disease he wanted onto people, bringing the possibility of wiping out entire towns. His son, Adrian, although of age, would always look like an 8-year-old due to being turned before his time. Mayor Falks arrived at Robin's court, hurt and looking terrified. Adrian had been on a rampage, offering anybody to a duel and looking unstoppable. Robin didn't give the response the mayor was looking for, instead decided to pay to have Adrian trained, further improving his skills. With so much going on, Robin forgot to feed. His vampiric might reached 0, resulting in him going ravenous. He had no control on whoever he would feed and kill next. Luckily, it wasn't anybody important to him, but he will need to be more careful in the future. Finally, his friend and bishop managed to create a claim on the county of Bois, so Robin went to war against his much weaker neighbour and decided to command the army himself. It seemed paying for Adrian's training paid off. Mayor Maurice, the man who exposed Robin's vampire secret, was murdered by him. Usually this would be terrible. This only further grew Robin's respect for his son. Of course, thanks to Maurice, everybody knew of his true identity. But this prompted his vassal and knight Matthew to approach Robin asking for immortality. This was another great opportunity for Robin to spread his kind with 0 risk. The war for Blois came to an end after 23 hard-fought months. Finally, enough land was acquired for the Duchy of Berry. He just needed the money. Although not keeping the land for himself, to keep a happy kingdom he needed happy vassals. He granted Blois to Oliba, another vampire who would stay loyal. Carolman, the Duke Robin once defeated in a war over the county of Berry, was now the king of Aquitaine, as his father passed away, splitting West Francia in 2. But once feeling the wrath of Robin, he offered him the position of Marshal of Aquitaine. He started an independence faction against Carolman. He had the man advantage when it came to the battlefield. Finally, after earning enough money, he made it official, creating the Duchy of Berry. This was his first big step to the throne of Aquitaine. The peasant rabble decided they were done paying taxes and stupidly thought they could win a war, although they quickly realised their mistake after their leader was captured. But he would make a fine knight and was recruited to serve the vampire court. Learning from previous mistakes, Robin started to feed on guests who passed through his court, to avoid losing control and feeding on the wrong person. A mysterious letter from an unknown source was delivered, sharing secrets of his new liege, and if true, surely this could be used to his advantage. His wife, Duchess Ord, was now 48, and of course would live for eternity unless something put an end to that. With no chance of any new children, Robin planned to murder his wife, as he needed more powerful children to rule under him, and to gain new alliances if he had any chance of becoming the first vampire king. Eager to keep expanding, he started a war for the county of Thors, which if successful would only increase his power. While at war, his wife's early demise got closer and closer. After yet again another easy war, he captured the Duchess of Poitou, but rather than just releasing her, he infected her with a plague, in the hopes it would spread and further weaken his enemies. Finally, the time came for Ord's death. The assassin was in place and ready to go, but things took a turn for the worse when he was discovered and couldn't go through with the murder. But Robin was still motivated to get what he desired. On the 4th of September, Ord would be caught in the woods by a gang of thugs, beaten to death, meaning Robin was free to marry and expand his dynasty. And he wasted no time in marrying again and turning his new wife into a vampire. But due to his increase in power, he was able to steal the trait Hail while feeding. Right, sorry to actually just cut in the middle of this video, right? But that says Adrian is incestuous. And his only other family member was his mum. Yeah. Finally, Robin had enough of taking King Carloman's orders and decided to forge a claim on the kingdom of Aquitaine, and if successful would give him a legitimate casus belli to put vampires on the throne. While preparing, he forces Duke Bernard to join his independence faction, and the scheme worked. It seemed everything was falling into place at last. 4 years later, King Louis of West Francia took over Aquitaine, once again uniting the lands. This seemed to be the end of Duke Robin's plans to become king, but it was a blessing in disguise. Louis was just not as powerful, meaning it was time to press his claim on the kingdom of Aquitaine. Putting everything into this war, he spent almost all his money on mercenaries, and the independence faction he once started decided to start a war, meaning King Louis's limited number of soldiers was spread thin by multiple ongoing wars. Robin called his new allies he had from marrying his new children to make sure nothing could stop him. The war was not an easy task. It lasted 6 whole years of back and forth battle victories and resulted in many casualties and castles being destroyed. But it was worth it. On the 21st of November, 909 AD, Robin became a mighty king, the King of Aquitaine, holding the greatest feast of all to celebrate his impressive victory. Managing to convince nearby rulers to become his vassal, he finally united all of Aquitaine, becoming the first and only known vampire king. But this is where the story ends. Nobody knows what became of Robin and his family, but vampires are known for their ability to shapeshift. So maybe they changed to hide their secrets and fit in once more. Anyway, this took so long to create. Seriously, it's probably the longest it's ever taken me to create a video. But I seriously had so much fun putting this all together. I know this last 2 videos this type focused on like accurate historical characters, but I thought this would be a little bit of fun to just mess around with a less realistic mod and see what you guys think. The mod is the Unending Night, and it will be in the description. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.